Hello all, and welcome back to another season of the GameTimeCT Staff Pick'ems podcast. I'm your host, Pete Paguaga. As always, I'm joined by my guy, Sean Patrick Bowley. And yeah, the season's here. We're back. The games are back. The schedule's loaded. We're going to dive in a little bit, but just want to give a quick shout out to our guy, Dave Stewart. Took home the championship last season. Finally got over the hump. Close losses for him in the two previous years. So happy for our guy, Dave. Like I said, week one, loaded schedule. A lot of CT crossover alliance games. And yeah, Sean, you ready to dive in?
All right, I think I'm ready. All right, let's do it.
All right, first game up. It's an NVL game. Comes on Thursday night. Woodland at Holy Cross. Both playoff teams last year. Both won a playoff game last year. And both have two of the best players in the state back in Marquise Campbell at Holy Cross and Mason Mastro Pietro at Woodland. Also, both teams graduated a lot, but figured both to be in the mix. This is a great week one matchup to kind of see who's going to, come in second place to Ansonia. But I think it's a great matchup for both these teams. A lot of guys back on both sides, but a lot of graduates as well. Sean, who do you like in this one?
At Holy Cross, that's a tough place for Woodland. If it was at Woodland on the grass there, it might be a little different story, but I like Holy Cross's speed. I mean, obviously, our boy back at quarterback there for them. I mean, we lost our other guy. Who was it? Who's the kid?
Leegee.
No, him. That's a tough loss, the workhorse back.
Oh, Maldonado.
Maldonado, who played well last year, was an all-state kid. And, Woodland's got a lot of guys back, but I'm just going to stick with the home team here. I'm going to go with Holy Cross and Marquise and the gang.
Yeah, I was impressed by Holy Cross a lot last year. They beat Naugatuck. We were there. They played Ansonia down to the wire. It's tough. It's pretty tough. But I'm going to go with Holy Cross as well. I really like Marquise Campbell. He was kind of thrust into the running back role when Leegee got hurt last year. Absolutely went off. They beat New Fairfield in the first round and played Bloomfield pretty well in the semifinals.
Right. They did do that.
I do think Woodland's really good, and Lato does a great job there, but I think Holy Cross is the pick this week. Going to the second game, we've talked about both these teams at length already on the show. Trumbull at Hamden, the battle of Pete's last two residencies. I'll go first for this one. I'm going with Trumbull. I like you, Sean. I think Trumbull's going to have a really good season. They just need to get past those mistakes. They've made some mistakes in games last year that cost them the game. I think with the really strong running backs of Rowan Johnson and John Hall, I think they'll be able to control the clock, control the momentum of the game. So I'm going to go with Trumbull.
That's going to be a tough game. Trumbull at Hamden again. Oh, they all are. I think Hamden could stand up to them. It's going to be who conditioned better. It's going to be a tough. It's just tough. If you're cramping more than the other guys, you lost the game almost. That's a big factor week one. Who has the cramps? Who did the work in the offseason? Who's hydrated and all that stuff? Trump. That's tough coming up here. But I voted Trumbull high. I voted Hamden high too, if I really think about it. But that's an epic matchup. I'm going to go with Trumbull though. Like I said, I'm final. So.
All right, another alliance game. Two playoff teams from a year ago. Wilton is traveling up to play Berlin at Sage Park. Berlin went to the M finals last year. Wilton went to the double M semifinals and only lost by 7 to North Haven. Berlin has a lot back, but also graduated a lot. Berlin is just a weird, no top guys, just a lot of team effort across the board for Berlin most years. A lot of different guys getting their hands on the ball. And then Wilton, who has a lot back from last year's team that made a, not surprise run, but it was like a weird waiting 20 days to figure out they got to the playoffs without playing a game. And then they were able to get to the semis and play North Haven really well. Sean, who you got?
I think Berlin, last year might have been a little bit of a different story. Wilton's got a ton of guys back. I'm going to go with the Warriors here.
Yeah, this is kind of a when in doubt, go with the FCX kind of game. But Berlin's going to be, again, team-oriented. They're going to play well, but I like Wilton in this one as well. Now we got a Pequot matchup, Rockville at Granby Canton. I think these are two of the best teams in the Pequot this season, which is the Uncas, right? The north part of the state is the Uncas. Is that what it's called? So we got Rockville, Granby Canton. Amir Knighton is back for Rockville. We haven't seen him since the Class M championship in 2021. And then Attonese over at Granby. Both these teams make the playoffs every year, it seems like, at least in the last 3 years, they've both made the playoffs. Granby Canton hasn't been able to get over that hump. A playoff game where Rockville has been to the semifinals numerous times and even went to a final. I'll go first here. I'm going with the Rams. I've been for Rockville since 2018 when I picked them to make the playoffs, and they did. So I'm going to go with Rockville. Who do you got, Sean?
Oh man, Rockville, that's tough one. You don't make it easy, but two great players on both sides. Two good coaches. Gransby's been knocking. I'm really tempted to pick Rockville here because of all the things you said, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the Bears in this one. At their space, real tough. Every time I seem to pick against Granby, I always lose it, and if I pick, they always win. And if I pick against them, if I pick them, they always lose. So maybe I'm a kiss of death here, but I'm going to go with the Bears, just because.
Okay. All right, got another Alliance matchup. We talked about this, Masuk at Killingly. Long drive. I believe it's, according to Dave Stewart, it's the longest drive of the weekend for any team. But they got Champagne. They got Champagne. They got the Walkers. They got a lot of dudes on the field. Killingly's got Soren Reef, first teamer back. Sean, who do you like in this one?
Well, I've been speaking about Max. This is all week, and granted, they kind of a little bit of limbo, which might hurt. But I think enough veterans return, and Masuk such a dyed-in-the-wool type of football, town, and Monroe is such a town, and I think right now they're might be a little bit on autopilot, and Killingly is going to be figuring out some stuff out. They got to stack, and then they got to stop Soren Reef, who's probably going to do some damage, but line especially. But if they can stand up to him, I don't know, just tons of weapons there, and I'm sure the quarterback is going to be raring to go. Champagne is great, and the Walkers, and like I said, I picked Masuk to win it also. Why stop Masuk?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Masuk too. I think they're a favorite in maybe the SWC and in their division in the States. I think Killingly, Soren Reef can only do so much, and I think it's early enough in the season where Killingly's still going to be figuring out who the rest of the guys are. So it's a perfect time for Masuk to go up there and win one. They played a great game in the playoffs last year. It was like 99 combined points or something crazy like that. So I think this will be another great one, but I think Masuk comes out ahead. All right, 6 game we're picking. West Haven at Staples. Two really good quarterbacks in Nick Conlon and Caleb Smith going at it. West Haven was awesome for 9 games last year.
Yeah, and they lost.
And then they lost.
Yeah, they lost too.
Yeah, they lost to Prep pretty handily, and then lost to Glastonbury, which was kind of a surprise for a lot of us in the first round of Double L. I think West Haven comes in with a little bit of vengeance. I always pick against West Haven. I'm always incorrect. It's not going to stop me. I'm picking Staples. I think Staples is really good this year. But I think West Haven is good too. But I'm voting Staples number 2 in the poll, so I'm going to go with the Wreckers.
Yeah, Tom Unger's got his work cut out from the assistant coach there, the weight room guy, the guy who gets all the linemen pumped up and everything. And then they lost all their linemen. Now, that happened a couple of years ago, and they were fine. West Haven is still West Haven. They should be really good there. Some playmakers they gotta break in there, and they're always tough. West Haven going to Staples down there. I think they're going to be okay, but I like the records this year. I like their chances this year. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. Like I said before, obviously Caleb Smith's good, but they did lose their receivers, so they have some things to replace as well. So that'll be interesting to see, but I'm going to go with the records. 60 voters as well.
All right, we got a couple more. You picked this game. You said it was going to be the L Championship preview. We got New Canaan at Shelton. two really good programs. This is the beginning of a death march for Shelton with just an absurd schedule ahead of them. And then you got New Canaan, who's got a lot of new faces. The majority of that defense is gone. And Shelton's got a lot back. Kinnick, Tinney, David, who has a D last name that I'm not going to pronounce that because I don't want to get it wrong. Shelton's got a lot back. I voted, this is the crazy thing. So I voted New Canaan high. But the more I talk about it, I'm going with Shelton in this game. I think Shelton at Finn Stadium, they have a lot of guys back. Like, I think that's going to be really beneficial for.
Yeah, you weren't big on Shelton earlier, and now I mean, I think I talked you into Shelton, didn't I? I think
you did. Yeah. I think you did.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. That's a tough spot for both teams. I mean, we got defending champs coming to town, and again, we rip on the Alliance stuff. When they do get these things right, we give them a little pat on the back. But most of the time, guys. But this was a good one. New Canaan Shelton. Again, I'm not crazy about potential state championship teams playing week 1, but hey, you got to drum up the interest somehow. So going up to Finn Stadium, New Canaan. I don't know when was the last time New Canaan played Shelton? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Can you look that up while I do this?
I will look it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shelton, New Canaan. That's a big spot for New Canaan. A lot. They lost some guys too. They bring one big one back with Benedetto, but Di Benedetto. And so I don't know. I'm just going to go with Shelton here because I've been singing their praises all podcasts. And I know Mike and the guys are just like grumbling. And I mean, it's weird. You either love them, they love it when you pick them, but sometimes they don't want you to pick them, and then they hate them. So I don't know. But I'm going to go with the Gales.
They played in 2018 in a playoff game. New Canaan won.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
And it's Benevento.
Benevento. Sorry. Thinking of that.
All right.
Well, sorry. It's been a year.
We're going to talk. Yeah. All right. So we got 3 more. We got next one, St. Joe's, Newtown. Interesting matchup. FCAC, SWC, new coach in Dan Farina at Newtown. He's coached against St. Joe's before, being at New Canaan. A lot of new faces on St. Joe's, like a lot of new faces. And then Newtown obviously brings back Jack Chapa, who was first team All-State for us. Chapa. You tell us which one works for you, Jack, or which one's right. So, Sean, who you got in this one?
Oh man, you're all about St. Joe, and then you're like, oh, they lost everybody. Who do I like? I have a hard time picking against St. Joe here. Listen, veteran coach against basically a rookie head coach. A rookie head coach, not basically. Different style, different things going on at Newtown. Yeah, it's at Newtown, but St. Joe is so well coached. I mean, like you said earlier, last year might have been Joe Delbeck, his best coaching job. I mean, that team really, just exceeded expectations every week, and then they kind of just ran out of gas. But that wasn't Joe's fault. He got him in position to be there, and that's all you really want. So anyway, week 1 up there, that'll be a fascinating game. They should be packing the place. Bloom Gold Stadium, place to play. Just a new era there, and then meanwhile St. Joe, maybe wants to get back into everybody's good graces here. So I like the Hogs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with St. Joe's too, for all the reasons that you said. Going to be competitive. All right, 2 more. We got Darien at North Haven. Darien, new coach Andy Grant. A lot of new guys on this team that were playing JV last year, going to North Haven to play Sags and Pandolfi and the defending champs. This one's tough. Sean, who do you got?
This is if you remember, in 2013 and 2014 when they had crossover games with the extra week, I think. Yeah, with the extra week. North Haven got set up with Darien, and they played back, and they were both great games. North Haven gave them a run. That was Darien when they were just really starting to make a move to become an eventual state champion. They would be in 2015. And, North Haven gave them everything they could handle. And it's at North Haven, defending champs, Darien. Kids not used to playing the single wing. You have, Pandolfi there. I know it's love-hate here with me in North Haven, but I'm going to go with the Nighthawks. There you go, Sags. The Nighthawks at Vanacore. Is Vanacore going to be open? That's the question. Is that ready? Do we know that game is? Where is that game? Pete?
Opening it up right now. Vanacore Field is open according to their schedule.
According to the schedule, they are at Vanacore Field. Long time coming. They just redid that place. Looks beautiful. I love that whole area. I mean, I love old school grass. North Haven will never ever go to turf. They do have a turf field down the road, next across the way that they practice on, but the Vanacore will not be turf anytime soon, especially now with this latest reconstruction. So anyway, going with the Nighthawks.
So you mentioned, they don't have to play the single wing, but think about it. When the schedule came out how many months ago? And they've had all this time to prepare for the single wing. This is, if you're going to play North Haven, this is when you want to play them, week 1.
Are you saying that Darien practices out of season? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that potentially they've been working on playing defense against the single wing in some capacity. Longer than the 3 days you normally get to prepare for North Haven.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Right. 3
and
days.
I like Darien. I like the guys that they have here. They look great. You know, I saw them in a scrimmage. They look great in shorts. But I'm going to go with North Haven as well. I'm not ready to pick Darien yet. So I need to see it from the Blue Wave to get excited about the Blue Wave. It's not going to be right now. I'm going with the Nighthawks. And then a Saturday 2:30 game at Cardinal Stadium, a rematch of the Double L Championship game with none of the players who played in that game on the field. The majority of them are not. We got John Morris and Tyler Smith in Fairfield Prep going to Greenwich to play the Von Velakis brothers and co. I'm going to go quick. Sean, I'll let you talk about this game a lot more. I'm going to go with Greenwich. I just think they're the best built team, but these rosters are gigantic. They're both machines. They're both factories pumping out guys every year. I'm just going to go with Greenwich in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk much more about this. I mean, we've said basically everything we need to say. I mean, both teams lost a lot. I voted number 1. Why would I pick Fairfield to beat them in game 1 if I thought they were number 1? I'm going to go with that. I mean, listen, they're too heavy. They were in the final last year. Maybe Prep some chance to get some revenge, which is certainly possible. Wouldn't count Prep out in this game because Greenwich, again, just as new themselves. You know, breaking in a new quarterback, and Charlie Dixon is not on the field out there picking off passes and creating all types of havoc. I know Fairfield Prep are probably going to make sure when they get there to make sure the number 11 is not in uniform and that's not Charlie Dixon. All right, we could play the game then. He was a senior, man. He's graduated. But, that last year, he made their lives miserable from the jump. Not here this time in uniform, but that I don't think will matter. I'm going to go with the Cards at their place. Really tough spot, but I think Fairfield Prep will be fine. You know, they'll take what they learn here and they move on, but I'm going to go with the Cards start.
Yeah, and we're going to be at that one. You, me, Fornabayo.
Yeah, why not?
Little Holy Trinity. For us, Greenwich on Saturday. That's the first 10 games. I think they're going to be tough. I think all these games, a lot of these games are coin flips, and we could be 10-0 just as quickly as we could be 0-10. So probably going to be 5-5. Let's be honest.
How the 8-ball does. 8-ball missed one last year, man. Or was it last year or was it the year before that? I don't remember. But there was 8-ball's 8-ball's sneaky. 8-ball all of a sudden will pick a team that nobody believes in, and next thing you know, 8-ball is getting carried off the field. So. The 8-ball. We'll see how he does this year. Going strong since 2001, the 8-ball. All right. Well, Pete, that was we could have picked a dozen more games. There's so many good ones. It's a good alliance start. You know, like we said. That is going to be a wrap for this preseason meat grinder. If we had any technical difficulties, which it looked like we might have, Pete, that you didn't notice on the recording, but hey, if so, we apologize. I'm excited. Football is back. You know, we'll find out how wrong and how much we got to go back and do our homework for week 2. I think that'll be a good way to start week 2. We're going to say, what did we learn from week 1? And it's going to be a lot. So it's the craziest week because you never know where guys are going to go. So that'll do it for the PD's Pick'em podcast. But for Pete Paguaga, I'm Sean Patrick Bowley. Welcome back to football season. This has been the Meat Grinder on GameTimeCT.
Love you all.